Let's take a look at one of the questions that have been asked in IELTS book number 14, test number 1. Now the question is, choose the correct heading for each section from the list of headings given below. Okay, now I want you to read all the headings properly. Solving the puzzle of papyrus document, importance of written records and different ways of recording them, use of papyrus for a range of purposes, suggestions for future possibilities for papyrus, how papyrus. So what you're doing is you applying the strategy that we have just learned. You read all the headings, then you read only the first paragraph. Okay, so pause the video and try to find out what can be the possible answer for para A. Now I'm going to tell you the correct answer. The correct answer is second, which is the importance of written records and different ways of recording them. And your keywords are importance, written records, ways of recording. Okay. Now let's come to the paragraph. Libraries and archives are cultural crossroads of knowledge exchange. So this is a keyword matching. If you read further, you would say, and written documentation carries enormous cultural importance. So importance, cultural importance is there. Fine. Then, so first part of it is there. Importance of written records. Now, different ways of recording them is there in the second paragraph, which is documentation requires a writing tool and a surface. So this is a way of writing. Then they have mentioned about reeds or sticks, then mud blocks, and then animal skins and wood strips and so on. Right, so by all means, you have found the answer for para A as second one. Now, for the next one, you have to cross out the second since you have already marked it. So now you're left with 7 choices and the rest of the paragraphs. Fine. So again, pause the video, try to find out what can be the possible answer for para B. Now the answer to it is the process of papyrus production, and why it is so is what I told you in one of the strategies, that sometimes the answer is hidden in the first and the last line, but sometimes you have to read the whole paragraph to understand it. So this is the typical example of that particular situation, that the process is all over the paragraph. If you read this paragraph, you will find, in fact, the first sentence is not useful at all as far as the topic is concerned. The process of papyrus production, right? Papyrus is strongly associated with Egyptian culture, although all ancient civilizations around the Mediterranean used it. The papyrus sedge is, so nothing in the first sentence at all. The papyrus sedge is a tall grass-like plant. It was harvested. So now it is saying that this is the process. It was harvested. Then manufacturing sheets of papyrus was a complex, messy process. So the process is also mentioned here. Then pith from inside the plant stem was cut into long strips that were laid side by side. They were then covered with second layer, which were laid at the right angles, then soaked in water, then hammered together, was then crushed, dried, polished to produce a high quality writing surface, and could be glued together, rolled up to make scrolls. So as you see, the entire paragraph is talking about the process of papyrus production. So there is no way that we can, skip by reading just the first and the last sentence. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So let's move to the next paragraph. Okay, as you see this, we have already marked the second one and the 8th one. So now we are down with 6 points, and this is quite a big one, but we still have to find it out. Pause the video, try to find out what could be the answer. Answer is the 7th one, and it is the preservation and destruction of papyrus documents, and your keywords are preservation, destruction, documents. So preservation ends this one. Papyrus scrolls in the library of Julius Caesar's father-in-law were protected at Herculaneum by ash from the catastrophic eruption. So they were preserved. Protected is preserved. Then destruction means it is a stable, decay, then rot resistant. So this is all talking about preservation. Then here, if you see this here, a thick layer of sand covered these dams. They were forgotten. documents were protected, time capsule, potentially dangerous, and then finally they were prone to some catastrophes, which is such calamity, burning of the great library of Alexandria, papyrus scrolls and books it contained. So it is nothing but talking about preservation and destruction of papyrus documents. So now we have moved with A, B, and C. We are left with 2 passages and we have completed 3 answers. Let's move further. So I have eliminated 2nd, 7th, and 8th. Now I have para D and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. So I want you to take a look at them. Alright, now the answer is number 3, which is the use of papyrus for range of purposes. It is absolutely clear that besides their use and record keeping, so everywhere it is talking about the use of papyrus only. So other uses like boat construction, making ropes, sales basket, being a source of food, and finally in the end also it is said that it stabilizes soil, reduces erosion. So basically it's talking about the advantages, but here in the beginning it's talking about the use of papyrus for a range of purposes. So third is the right answer for para D. Have reduced 4 options and now we are only left with 4 choices and 1 passage. So we have 2 paragraphs for this one as well. So try to find the answer for this one too. Okay, and the answer is 6. The decline of papyrus use. And why is it saying so? Is you would not find it in the beginning again. True paper was probably invented in China in the 1st century CE, constructed like papyrus. It was so basically it is actually giving how papyrus was replaced by true paper, which was invented in China. Now, if you read the last line of this first para, you would see the adoption of this paper by Western culture soon rendered papyrus obsolete. So if it is being obsolete, that means it is no longer in use and the usage of it is getting reduced with each passing day. It would be inconceivable to use papyrus for. So these are the places, the keywords where you can find the possible answers to these questions. I hope you have understood and you've got the right answers as well. And I thank you for watching this video.